Hi everyone, my name is Jack Barletta, and I'd like to welcome you to my giant museum. Come on in everybody, you won't believe this. I've been collecting this stuff probably a good 40 years now. I first started going to the games when they were in Yale Bowl, which is only about 20 minutes from here. And it was great, it was so close and everything, but when they left here, I was kind of heartbroken. And at that time, I had just gotten the Connecticut plate Giants on my car. And I actually sent a picture of that in to Wellington Mara, and by my shock, I got a letter back from him, handwritten, and he said that send, I think at that time it was $140 for 2 tickets for the entire year for Shea Stadium. And then when they moved over to Giant Stadium, I moved over there with them. And it started kind of a relationship over the years at Wellington Mara. I started to send him cards and letters all the time, and every time you did, he'd write back by hand. Wonderful man. Okay, hello. I'd just like to introduce you to a couple of members of my family that go to the games with me. This is my nephew Tyler and my brother Richie. This is the kitchen. We'll start the tour here. This is Parcells getting carried off the field in Super Bowl 25. I love anything that has to do with the Super Bowls. There's Phil Simms, my favorite player of all times. I have quite a bit of stuff from Phil. The Taylor cleats, obviously I love because of, the fact that he actually wore them in the Super Bowl. I do love the Schaffner helmet. That's a great piece and everything. This is an autograph of the entire Super Bowl 21 championship team, the 25th anniversary. And this is one of my favorite pieces. This is actually a picture of Super Bowl 21, our first Super Bowl, and this is my late, beautiful wife that used to go to all the games with me. That's us sitting at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. More Parcells and Taylor. This is Simms also from the Super Bowl year. I have a lot of Eli Manning stuff, obviously, because being a 2-time Super Bowl champion, the place is loaded with Eli Manning memorials. As great as these wins were against the Patriots, the first one with Simms having the game that he did, and after all those years of finally being the world champions, it was almost surreal and everything. As a matter of fact, I remember after they won that, the first thing I wanted to do was get to the phone and call my dad. Say, Dad, we finally did it, we finally did it. But I was almost as happy for him as I was for me that, we finally won. Here's a picture of me and my dad, and that's a hat my dad used to wear when he watched the Giant games. I know how much he loved the Giants, and loved him dearly, and I miss him dearly, and he'll be the biggest Giant fan in my heart forever. Miss him dearly. All right, that was just level 1. Come on down to the basement now, the playroom, and you'll see kind of Giant Stadium 2. This is actually a turnstile from old Giant Stadium. One of my favorite pieces because it's a turnstile. And we're actually standing on the 10-yard line from Giant Stadium. I actually purchased the 10-yard line. My seats were in front of the 10-yard line. So this was actually the 10-yard line I sat in front of for 35 years the stadium was open. I was in section 128, the stadium, and I got the section 128 sign that I purchased also. These were the seats from the old stadium. I had seat number 23 and 24 in row 10, and I actually removed the seat numbers from the back of the seat in the last game. This was the Giants' greatest punter of all time, and it was a good friend of mine, Dave Jennings, who just passed away last year. I got to know Dave pretty good. Great man. I miss him very much. One of my favorite players of all time was Lawrence Taylor. While he was playing for the Giants, he had a bar right down the street from Giant Stadium called LT's. This is actually the bar tap from his bar. He autographed that for me, too. This is a mug from it, and they also have the menu and a shirt signed by LT that they wore at the bar. Alrighty, now we're going up to the top level. Now this is a room that people usually say to me, I'm sure you got Giant stuff everywhere, but it can't possibly be in your bedroom. But as you can see, it is. The bedroom is even covered from wall to wall, and the sheets are Giants, bedspread is Giants. That actually is Homer Jones, one of my favorite players of all time. The closet, as you can see, is just, I don't have many normal clothes. These are kind of set up like, most people put their clothes like maybe dress pants, stuff like that. This is kind of like, we have Bavaro here, we have Simms here, this is Manning. That's how I pick my wardrobe out every day. I've had season tickets for over 40 years now, but watching the games at home is a special thing too. It brings me back to when I was a kid, and I love watching the games there, especially when I have all my memorabilia around me. You always hear once a Giant, always a Giant. There's just something special where you feel like you really are part of a family. And I always thought that way, and when I saw how the actual family, the Maras, treated me, someone that just wrote to them, it's just the tradition, it's just, being at that stadium. You love being a Giant, and you love being a Giant fan. So it is pretty awesome, but it's my love for the Giants, and it was so nice having you here to finally show it to people, and thanks for being here.